It's time to take a look at what's happening around Wyoming for Wednesday, July 31st. I'm Wendy Corr, bringing you headlines from the Cowboy State Daily newsroom, brought to you by Wyoming Senior Olympics. Don't miss the action at this year's Summer Games from today through August 4th in Cheyenne, Wyoming. For more info and a schedule of events, visit wyomingseniorolympics.org. It's wildfire season in the West, and while Wyoming tends to live in the smoke clouds of its western neighbors, the Equality State itself is battling its own wildfires. In northeast Wyoming, 2 fires have already caused damage to homes and buildings, and Cowboy State Daily's Jake Nichols reports that the Shoshone National Forest is blazing between Cody and Yellowstone.
Clearwater fire started by lightning and made significant progress Monday due to high winds, 40, 50-mile-an-hour gusts. Pushed that thing right up the Elk Fork drainage directly at, if you're familiar with the area, that cute little campground Wapiti right off the highway. And for firefighters, highway access is the main concern. If this fire does not jump that highway, I'd be surprised. It's knocking on the door.
In Campbell County, a handful of people were left without homes to return to after erratic winds shifted direction Saturday and thrust a grass fire onto Peaceful Valley Drive just west of Gillette. Dozens of pets, horses, goats, chickens, and other animals were saved, but some dogs were reportedly killed. Homes under $1 million are practically non-existent in the Jackson Hole real estate market, and the rare few that are available go fast. That's even as the latest Jackson Hole real estate report from the Veman Group shows the $2 million to $3 million segment of the Jackson Hole market is the most stagnant right now. Business reporter Renee Jean reports that the sales have dropped off 6% overall, even as overall inventory has risen 5%.
There's still pretty robust demand for those homes if people just would let go of pandemic pricing and come down just a little bit. These are people who can afford to sit on the market for a while and see what it does. You could see some price drops in the Jackson market, but I don't think anyone should expect that that's going to last for very long.
Right now, there are just 10 condos or townhomes under $1 million and only 6 single family homes less than $2 million on the market. For the first time since their inception, the most significant moves toward tightening Wyoming's relatively opaque and lenient limited liability corporation laws may be about to happen. Cowboy State Daily's Leah Wolfson reports that the legislature has convened a business fraud working group that spent the summer meeting to gain a better understanding of the alleged fraud some people commit under Wyoming registered businesses because of the state's LLC laws.
Wyoming's LLC laws and trust laws are renowned for being extremely private and allowing sometimes some nefarious actors to get involved in the state. So this would basically at least make an effort at trying to kind of address some of those issues that had been brought up.
Wyoming has some of the most lenient and private corporate business filing laws in the country and some of the lowest associated fees for registering LLCs. I'll be back in just 15 seconds with more news.
In southwest Wyoming, wide open space is waiting. This is how we explore it. In Rock Springs and Green River, Wyoming. Plan your adventure at explorewy.com.
A Green River man is facing up to 10 years in prison on claims he pointed a loaded 9mm pistol at a teen who parked a powered-off dirt bike on the grass in front of the man's home. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland reports that 70-year-old Boyd Kettle was charged Monday with aggravated assault in Sweetwater County Circuit Court.
Boyd Kettle allegedly comes out and chastises the teen and points a loaded pistol at him. The reason that there's an inference in that affidavit that it was loaded is that police met up with him later and collected a 9mm Taurus that had a full magazine and also one in the chamber.
Wyoming law contains multiple variations of aggravated assault. Among those are charging options for people accused of pointing a drawn, deadly weapon at others. Former President Donald Trump is paying attention to Wyoming and its 2024 races for the state legislature. Over the weekend, Trump endorsed Cheyenne Republican Senate candidate Darren Smith on his social media platform, Truth Social. While Trump has endorsed Wyoming candidates before, he hasn't expressed support for anyone running for the state legislature until now, reports Cowboy State Daily's Leah Wolfson.
Smith is running in Cheyenne, is rural Laramie and Platte counties for the state Senate for a seat currently occupied by Senator Anthony Bouchard, a Republican from Cheyenne. It's notable that Smith got the endorsement as it is the first endorsement Trump has ever made for a Wyoming state legislature candidate.
The track record shows that a Trump endorsement usually turns out well for those candidates. And a half-shredded blade hanging from a wind turbine just off I-80 west of Cheyenne is a reminder that these towering electricity generators are not immune to the sometimes violent hail and lightning storms that roll through southeastern Wyoming. A spokeswoman for Black Hills Energy told Energy reporter Pat Mayo that the blade was damaged by a lightning strike July 17th at the Corriedale wind farm west of Cheyenne.
If you look at it really closely, and I did, I stopped off on the side of the road there and looked at it with the telephoto lens, and you could see like strands of like rope almost like dangling where it had been snapped in half. It's basically a carbon fiber type of substance, and they have to be disposed of properly in the right landfill and whatnot. And there is a big landfill that does take these up in Casper, but they stopped doing it a couple years ago.
Lightning damage is the single largest cause of unplanned downtime for wind turbines and the most common insurance claim filed by wind farm owners. And that's today's news. Get your free digital subscription to Wyoming's only statewide newspaper by hitting the daily newsletter button on cowboystatedaily.com. And you can watch this newscast every day by clicking subscribe on our YouTube channel. I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily.